Hi and welcome back to my channel. So, how did we do with Inktober this year? How did you do? Good? Bad? Alright, look, no matter how you did, if you tried it, if you started it, good for you. It's tough to stick with something like that, especially when life gets in the way. Look, if you're not obligated to stick with something if it no longer is working in your life, so, you know, if you didn't finish, that's fine. No worries, no pressure, no judgment. That said, if you did finish it, congratulations, you made it to the end. It feels good, right? Like, it feels really good. All right, so this year I went with a theme again, and my theme was Flowers of San Diego. Every year, the starter of Inktober, Jake Parker, puts out prompts, so daily prompts, a list of words that you can look at every day to help jog some creativity. That doesn't work for me just because I gotta tell you, it takes me a bit of time to be creative and to think of something to draw on the spot. So I figured with a theme, I could plan it more carefully and just really set myself up for success of drawing every day. So I will go over the tools and materials I used this year right now. I used the Faber-Castell Extra Small Pit Artist Pen for drawing. Really great for fine lines. Next, I'm a fan of the same pen, but in medium. That pen's perfect for darker fills for more contrast. Then I used this glue stick to paste these newspaper clips into my sketchbook before starting to draw. Next is brushes. This one's a number 6 round brush by Princeton. And this one's also a number 6 round brush, but by Umbria. I don't know why I have 2 of these. And this guy, an Umbria Dagger Striper, is great for getting into tight corners. Yeah, check that bad boy out. Next, we've got watercolors, and I use Winsor & Newton. Lastly, you probably need water, you know, for watercolors. Quick little sneaky peek here. Ooh. Okay, let's go. All right, so I'm gonna take you into my sketchbook this year. Don't mind this setup. This is my super fancy phone looking down on my sketchbook setup. I know, it's super technical. Hey, it works, right? I'm not good with flower names. I honestly know like maybe 1 or 2 of these flowers in here. So if you know the names of any of these flowers, please comment down below, let me know, educate me, all right? I'm always up for learning something new, all right? So I'm gonna try to work through this because I know you have places to go and you just wanna see what I did this year, so let's get started. Sorry. Let's figure out these did not come from memory. These are all taken from reference. I visit San Diego quite often. In San Diego, there is some beautiful flora. So I was just taking pictures left and right. So I figured, hey, how about my theme could be Flowers of San Diego this year? So I took a bunch of photos, and then so every day I sat down at the end of the day, after dinner, when it was like TV time, TV Inktober time, and then I sat down and started to draw. I just whipped out my phone and then would draw. All right, back to the sketchbook tour. All right, so this first one, I kept it really fast and loose. I just really wanted to capture the essence of the flower. Yeah, so this one, let me explain. I'm so terrible at explaining things. I'm sorry. You're gonna notice some Chinese clippings. These are from Chinese newspapers. My husband is currently restoring a vintage Honda motorcycle, and sometimes that requires ordering parts on eBay. So these parts will come packaged in like crunched up Chinese newspapers for padding, for packaging, for safe transport. I just thought, that would be a very interesting element to add to my everyday drawings. So I clipped out a bunch. No, I don't know how to read Chinese, so I downloaded the Weigo app to help me translate. And I understand that the characters can have different meanings depending on like the string of characters next to them. So I would glue the Chinese character onto the page, and then I would go through my photos, and I would kind of pick a flower that would relate somehow to that word. So, for example, on day 1, this apparently translates to thunder, as you can see here. Again, if anything is wrong, please let me know, okay? Don't yell at me. Okay. Day 1. I was pleased with how fast this was. Another thing I love about watercolors is it dries quickly. So, yeah. Okay. Day 2. Thank you. Stick with me here. Day 2, drop, apparently, is what this translates to. And I thought this would be interesting to bloop, bloop, illustrate these two together. And it's kind of a dropping motion. I started off with the red, and then I blended some orange to radiate from the middle out. I really loved what was happening anytime I would start drawing and painting onto the newspaper. So I'm very pleased so far with how this is going. Day 3, C. You can start to figure out your own connections with the flower and the word. I think this is what I started to most enjoy about this year's Inktober. It was just figuring out these relationships and figuring out a quick composition of the flower's relationship with the word. Sometimes it was very apparent, other times not. I kind of leave it to your own interpretation too. If you see something there, then there you go. Beautiful. I'm glad you could connect with it. Day 3. Because. I don't know. There you have it. Hibiscus. Oh my gosh. I have a very near and dear relationship with hibiscus flowers. I'm wearing one right now. I went to Hawaii last year with a group of very, very dear friends, my ohana, and yeah, so the hibiscus is just my personal spirit flower. Is that a thing? Do we have spirit flowers? Well, anyways, here's mine. The hibiscus. And there's many different types of hibiscus. Hibiscus, and we won't go into that now, but if you have any cool hibiscus facts, please leave it down below. I want to see it. Oh, which is why I picked the word home. This one was a lot of fun. I thought it was going to be a pain to do, but like with a lot of things that are challenging and a little scary and exciting, I just dove right in and was very pleased with how this turned out. This one's called Grip. And as you can see, it kind of is appropriate with like it almost looks like this flower, this plant, I guess more so as a hand, just like gripping onto whatever could be beneath. Almost like those claws in those claw games that I never have won. Move. I really enjoyed the movement in this piece, just because this flower, the way it blossomed, these were buds that were, up and coming flowers, and then these were already blooming, so it kind of created this really cool dimension of like the up close flower, and then with the buds in the back. And you're starting to notice, I'm sure, the testing that I would do on the other page just to see how the colors would work. Move. Day 8. There wasn't a lot of good light in this particular photo, so I had to bring it in an editing tool and just like bump up the contrast a little bit just so I could see a little bit more light on the edges of this particular flower. And this was taken from top down. That was how I took the photo. So whatever this flower is, challenging to draw just because of the radiating petals. It's kind of tricky to keep track of how those lay out, but like with anything, once you get in, it's easy. You just got to start. Starting is the hardest part of anything. 9. I was particularly tired this day, so I'm like, I just gotta pick an easy flower to draw and just like that. In fact, I think this was one part of like a bigger flower photo, and I actually took a couple of those workarounds in a couple of these. So you'll see in the previous photos and then the subsequent pages that in the preceding pages that I didn't draw like the whole photo. I just picked an interesting element from that photo and drew it. Ooh, this was fun. Return. This was, yeah, I think this takes a lot of the page. You'll see there is a pattern of leaving a lot of white space around the page, but this one really, really takes up a lot of space. Wait, do we have 2 returns? Oh my goodness. What? No. How did I miss that? Look, they are the same. Okay, yeah, I was obviously Okay, well, here's return again. But with a different flower. This was fun because this flower had more than one color on it, but on the same petal. So I had to blend the red out into yellow, and it was tricky because this one, even after editing it, it didn't have a lot of light. So this one doesn't have as much dimension as I would have loved, but again, you just do it. If you're doing a daily challenge, you just do it. This one is called Piece, as in like pieces, Reese's Pieces, not piece as in like... So, this was another quick one. What I love about taking on this style is that it could just be really quick and look deliberate. And I started to notice that if I spend too much time tweaking it, it was starting to lose its soul a little bit. So I had to remind myself, just like keep it fast and loose, you know. You're starting to see that these are sketches, and then later you might notice that I'm doing more contour drawing of the flowers, just like really looking at the flower and just like getting it down, you know, just getting the, and not worrying too much about proportion and accuracy. Just get the shape down, get that first impression. And I felt that the more I was doing it, the better I was getting at it, or at least the more comfortable I was getting at it. This is return again? Dude, what? Wow. Is there more than, see, it's the Wago app. Don't yell at me. Is this accurate? Return, or did I just totally get it wrong? Anyways, this was fun because it was really subtle. It was one of those things where like I didn't have to do a whole lot, just one stroke and it was done and colored, and just sometimes you just have to leave things alone, you know? This one, I think I had a little bit more time to just noodle around and be patient with how much color there was to deal with. And I gotta tell you, leaving those little white spaces on the page, it really helps give your piece more dimension. So if you're having challenges like that, just sometimes less is more. Ooh, this is fun. This was taken at currently my favorite restaurant in San Diego, which is Norma Jean's. Is it Norma Jean? Norma Jean's? Sorry, my phone is indisposed. It's filming this right now, so I can't look it up real quick, but they use their own spices and herbs, and I think these are chili peppers that they're just growing right out in the front of the restaurant. So check them out if you get a chance. Again, not sponsored. Ooh, this was a fun one. I'm just going to say that about everything. Everything was fun to draw, right? Round, apparently, is what this character says. Leaves. They're really tricky just because, like, they're all one color, and you just have to, like, keep track of all the different, the layouts of everything. I mean, look, it starts to get, it's crazy in there, but again, you just dig in and get going, and there you go. Oh my gosh, I already see the next one. Guess what word it is? Return! Wow. I think it was like the one word that Wago could translate. Anyways, this was interesting. You have smaller petals here. And I thought this was gonna be a real bear to draw, and it wasn't too bad. I think you start to see the contour drawing where I'm just like, one stroke, just doing it, getting it down, because there were a lot of different flowers to keep track of. And a tip I use if you're having a hard time, so you take your pen and then you just kind of it's really about getting the angles, and spatial relationships between different elements of your subject. So like to get the distance and relationship between these two flowers, I looked at my original photo and was like, okay, let's get what that angle is. And then I would take that, look at the photo and then put it against my page, and then I would line up my pen against those edges. And then I would just make a quick mark, just so I know, okay, cool, so that it's going to be this far, at this angle, this far away, instead of like right here, which could totally skew those two flowers and then thus the rest of your drawing. So it really is about capturing those angles, and that's how I learned to do it. And this is a trick I've been using forever, so there you go. Ooh, this was a really quick and simple one. Didn't have a lot of time. I was getting ready to head out to a wedding in California. I know, I just moved to California, right? Why am I not there already? I don't know. So this one is apparently translated as south, and I don't know. This just looks like a southern type plant. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it just makes sense to me. The challenge with this one was capturing the texture of whatever plant this is. It wasn't smooth like the other flowers we've been seeing. I really don't know what flower this is, and really this is only one tiny part of a bigger flower, just because of time constraints and also composition. I just thought it was really interesting to get this angle and of the different leaves against the strokes of the character. Whoa. This one is called Teach. The fun challenge about Inktober is that you have the challenge of figuring it out in your life. Like if you really want to commit to the challenge, you find ways to make it happen. So every day, like I said, I would do it at night, at the end of my day, after dinner, when we're gonna sit down and watch some TV. And that's when I do it. But if you're doing things like maybe I would sit down and do 2 drawings in one sitting and then watercolor it later. And I think I did that with this drawing right here. Teach. This one was tricky. What I've been wanting to do was, for the most part, let the character kind of like stick out away from the painting, the drawing of the flower. This one I think enveloped the character a little bit more than I would have liked, but it's alright. It's still an interesting piece to look at. This was fun because, yes, I did draw this on the plane and then I colored it in at the hotel. This was the actual day of the wedding, so I did this the morning of, and that was a lot of fun. It was very simple, just the red and then the green. Look at that, not a whole lot of testing at all, just... And then I was using the glass that you find in the hotel room. They wash those things, right? Next. Garden noodles yet. This is what the Wago app says. This means you can confirm, you can let me know if that's true or not. Either way, I thought this was a lot of fun to draw. I like the jutting angles of the leaves versus the softer roundness of the flower here, even though that does have tips. So, little tip if you want to capture more dimension and depth, really pull out darks versus lights, so you'll see, I don't know why I'm messing up my own. Anyways, yeah, so I had a problem because I drew these and I couldn't really decipher the leaves against the page, so what I did was added in the shadows here and then just so to really pull the leaves away from the background. Second, This was a beautiful one to work on because of the relationship between the pointy edges of the leaves and the roundness of the flowers. I think that's why I like flowers in general, just because of the structure. There's just so many things going on between the leaves and the petals, and flowers are great. I should have worn a flowery shirt today. I don't know why I didn't. Anyways, contrast, right? Yeah. Stone. This was cool because of the colors. I think it's a darker color scheme than what I've been using for the rest of this Inktober. Also, I thought the branch here, the lone branch, the relationship between that and then the flower was very interesting. Ooh, I was saving this one for such a long time. Bird of Paradise. And then I would realize I was nearing the end of the challenge at day 24. I'm like, oh, I better get this in. And then what more appropriate word can you use than head? So this apparently means head. And so I thought, oh, I'll add a Bird of Paradise in there. My friend Rob had pointed me towards a meme about Bird of Paradise. I'll just put it up right here real quick for your pleasure. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Ooh, I was saving a bunch of these orchids also. I had gotten a lot of my photos from there's this botanical area in Balboa Park, and there were a bunch of beautiful orchids there, so I'm so happy that I got to draw one. These drawings, the color is actually a lot more subdued than the real photo itself. I tried to get it like hot pink. That's another skill I'd like to work on, is watercolor mixing. So that was a challenge for me that I was also overcoming during this 31-day challenge. If we're talking about contrast and dimension, I'm happy with this, but I think with color, I wish I could get brighter fuchsias and pinks. Maybe it's the actual watercolors I'm using. I don't know, but we will save that lesson for another day. This was fun because of the texture. It was quite challenging to capture like the poofy cotton ball-like texture of whatever this flower is. But I think I did a pretty decent job for kind of facing this challenge. Day 27, we're almost done. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad I couldn't really use a lot of these huger ones, so I'm glad I got to use another one of these. This apparently means either tear or tear. But this flower it seemed overwhelming to draw at first, just because, as you can see, there's a lot going on with it, but I think a good way to start if you're having a hard time drawing a flower is to kind of get the overall shape down first. Kind of like gesture drawing, just capture like the overall essence, the energy, the shape of the whole thing. And then one of my drawing teachers described it as a sculpting clay. Just like throw it on the table and just get the general shape first. And then so that's why I would go, you know, just literally just color in the whole shape. And then you kind of get, it's less scary. The blank page is less scary. So then you start getting your angles like, okay, what's the top of this thing? So then, okay, the top is over there. And then what's another prominent angle? This one, right? So then kind of do this on the photo, like, okay, and then bring it back down there in the page, and then, you know, just be non-committal, just kind of flow like water, like, ooh, you know, just like, ooh, get those impressions down, and then from there you could start carving like maybe a key shape, a key petal that kind of connects everything together. Like this one for me was maybe this one right here, which is why it's probably the darkest part of the drawing, just because, like, you know, once I could nail this relationship down, then it became easy to draw this, and then hence, you know, the other petals. So, you know, you get one and then it's done. Not that easy, but, you know, I just wanted to rhyme there to sum this all up. All right, so there's that little mini drawing lesson. Step across. What can work better than water lily? Oh, water lilies. So nice. I don't know. Do you guys have certain flowers that when you look at you just feel like childlike? You just feel, I don't know, just because there's something mystical about water lilies for me. Can't explain it. I don't know. Ooh, I think somebody on my Facebook page actually wrote what the technical name of this flower is. It was something long and something unpronounceable for me, but there it is. I had a lot of fun with this because it was a little, like, kind of spotted, almost like a cow flower. Yeah, so this was a pleasure to draw. Pull. Yeah. I got to draw another hibiscus, and it is related to the word place. I know my place. I feel my place, my space with hibiscus flowers. And this, I went into this thinking, it's only one color, yellow, like, it was a challenge for me to pull different depths of yellow, but I'm very pleased with how this turned out, just because you get the strong yellows here, and then you get, like, the more washed yellows that kind of blend nicely into the white highlights, so very happy with how that turned out. Place. Oh, this was the penultimate one. We just tore right through this, huh? Last one. Ooh, last one. I wanted to go out with a bang on this last one. This one probably took the longest. I don't know what this is called, but it was hardcore to draw, and I had a lot of fun with it. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. We're working with a bunch of different colors here. Ariel, dude. My Frenchie does this thing where she, like, thrashes around, and, like, I think she's scratching her back, but anyways, you might be hearing that right now. Alright, so this was interesting to draw just because I had to draw the individual cells, is that what you call it, on the leaves, and then we're also dealing with different colors, but they're blended together. It's not like different segments of flowers have definite colors. It was like the edges of the leaves generally were this beautiful pink-red color, and then it blended into yellow down the center of the leaves, and then the leaves generally were like this green, evergreen color with bits of the yellow kind of peeking around. So it was hardcore, but I was happy to take it on. I felt very confident by this point, 31 days into it, so here we are. And I thought an appropriate word for that was close. Well, I hope you enjoyed my sketchbook tour of Inktober 2018. I don't know. I don't know if I'll do it again next year, but I had a lot of fun taking on this challenge this year. If you did Inktober this year, let me know, comment down below, and if you enjoyed this video, give me a like. You know, a couple of you I hear are watching the videos, but I don't get that feedback. They'll like tell me later. It's like, oh, well, I would have appreciated like a thumbs up or something. You know, it just helps me algorithm wise, and it lets me know to do more videos like this. I mean, if you hated this video, obviously don't like it, but you know, it just really helps to have that feedback. YouTube can be kind of this scary world where you're out here all alone, putting yourself out there, and it just really helps to just a little like, you know, just hit that button, give me some support. All right, I'm here for you. I'm giving you my hard-earned tips and tricks, so please just love me. All right, I'll stop giving you a hard time. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I know you have a lot of different options when it comes to YouTube channels, but really, I'm glad you're here with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!